Hello, this is Jerry. Did an inspection on the 2009 Subaru Forester. All in all, for the mileage, it's got 173,000 miles. The car's in decent shape. Does need some maintenance, does need a few repairs, but ultimately nothing that's extreme. Basic things. We did a light check, front and rear. All the bulbs are working good. Third brake light is working good. Rear wiper blade doesn't look like it's used because I don't see a streak on the back window, but it is torn. So if you do use it, it'll eventually get to the point where it's metal to metal. I believe the front wiper blade was in the same condition. Yeah, they're kind of flat. So it could use a set of wiper blades, at least the front, if not the rear if you use it. Tires on the vehicle. Rear tires do have some tread, probably about 50% remaining. Cooper Evolution's a decent tire. It does have siphoning for winter traction, so these are all right. However, the front tires, you can see bald, touching the wear bars, and outside edge wear. And that's outside edge wear on both sides. So it does have an alignment issue. I didn't feel any loose parts up front. Ultimately, it could just be an alignment, but Joe had mentioned, and I had noticed also in a test drive, that the noise from the left front, it does have both stabilizer links in the front of the vehicle that are have excessive free play. Stabilizer links, these little links that are right there, they're just little ball joints and then they get loose. The front struts, which are these jobbers here, ultimately up top you can see a lot of dry rot, and I did notice when you do a jounce test, you can feel on the driver's side that the mount is broken. Now it's not in danger of separating from the vehicle, but it is causing noise. But I also noticed on the highway, I was going about 60, maybe 70 miles an hour, and I hit a bump in the construction area. And when I went up and down, the vehicle ultimately fully extended up. And when that happens, you lose traction. Some people worry about when it goes down and it bottoms out. That's not the problem. It's when it goes up and you lose traction, especially when the roads are wet and then you're sailing. So a lot of people say, oh, I don't need struts. Well, they're original, 173,000 miles. Rear struts as well are original. The brake pedal, I noticed, goes halfway. Brake pedal goes halfway down, actually a little bit more than halfway. It's four-wheel disc brake system, so usually it's low brake pads when that happens. The front brakes do have plenty of pad remaining. Doesn't look like they're that old. The rear brakes, however, the brake rotors are delaminating. They're rusted and pitted, and the brake pads are low. That's ultimately what's causing the low brake pedal. So it does need brake pads and rotors in the rear. The caliper should be all right. You might have to lubricate the pins. Under the hood, we have this lovely air filter. Caught a butterfly right there. That directly affects airflow. Now I did notice that this car kind of runs like a dog. It should have more horsepower. Air filter pulling too hard to get air into the engine. Also, if you look at these numbers that are on these ignition wires, 173,000 miles, those are the original ignition cables. I'm willing to bet that the spark plugs are original as well. They may be new, but seeing that these are original, also the timing belts, a very important part of this car. If there's actually a rubber belt that controls the timing, if that belt breaks, the vehicle will ultimately, the engine is interference engine, the valves collide with the pistons. Now there is a newer serpentine belt here, but you can see this belt right here is frayed. Looks like they did just the alternator belt. It's an alternator power steering belt. They never changed the rear belt. That looks original. The fact that that's original right there is telling me that that timing belt's probably original. Again, that belt breaks, engine's done. Note a little seepage and transmission cooler lines. Transmission fluid's full. Engine oil's about a half quart low. These engines do burn oil. I see there's a quart right here under the hood. I did not see an oil change sticker under the hood or in the car. So just make sure the oil is up to date on the vehicle. The oil didn't look that dirty. Trying to think if there's anything else. All right, started her up. Ultimately, you can hear the exhaust. It does have two mufflers in the rear. but they're just hanging there. Nothing's connected to them. You can see, if you look back, you'll see that broken pipe right there. And when you lose back pressure, exhaust creates back pressure for the engine. The engine looks for that. That can cause drivability concerns as well, coupled with that dirty air filter. So really the exhaust is an important thing. I know you've been dealing with it, but it does affect drivability of the vehicle. Well, that's really about all I can think of from my experience with the vehicle. I'm hot as hell right now, sweat dripping in my eyes. If you have any questions, you can text me, give me a call. If you want any pricing on anything, let me know. If you want me to prioritize things, I can do. Rear brakes are a priority. I believe the front struts are a priority. That's a safety concern. That was kind of scary when you lift it up on the highway. I know they're expensive. I can get them fairly cheap online, but that's not the point. They're original. It's a safety concern. If she's driving on the highway, you don't want her to lose control. I'm going to send you over this video. Give me a call if you have any questions.